So I thought I would do this on camera for a change. And this is another installment in the series, God is a Perfect Circle. I wanted to share this story with everyone because it is a real story. And this did actually happen, and I'm learning more about it and I'm trying to understand it. I was having trouble sleeping because my house of sleeping was disturbed. And I did not know that God had control over sleep cycles. I did not know that God could set times when we sleep and when we don't sleep. Now, what we learn from the Bible is that the God of Moses originally has a background that's closely related to the Aramaic language and the Arabic language, because originally the name of God was El Shaddai. That's Muslim, not exactly Jewish. However, there is a relationship between Moses and Muslims, and there's a relationship between the God of Moses and the Jewish God. Moses, of course, representing the Jewish God, and Moses also being a God of the Muslims. In the Quran, as we know, the Quran begins with the books of Moses, the first 5 books of Moses, just how the Bible begins with the first 5 books of Moses. So religion is confusing because we think of the differences between Jews and Muslims, the differences between Muslims and Jews, and we don't quite understand how common the roots are. So I was having trouble sleeping like I had never had trouble sleeping before. And Allah in my ears knew what was going on. So Allah appeared and a voice said, "You are not Allah," to the disturbance. Now, in the book of Isaiah, Yahshayahu, it's one of my favorite books. I share it all the time. I think we know why that is. There's a scripture that says, "Yeah, before the day was, I am He." And I just love how it's written. And so when we think about sleep cycles, we forget to connect our sleep cycle to God first, and we take for granted the rest that we have in God. And so if ever God is disturbed, it can't be a good omen. So anyways, I just thought this was so epic because it made me think about the mosques and the grandeur of mosques. And I don't know much about mosques, but I do know mosques are considered places of rest, and mosques are considered the holy temple of God. It's where people go to relax in a way. It's not exactly like the church services we're familiar with in churches. Mosques are different. Mosques respect the rest of God, and it's a place where the rest of God and the holiness of God is never to be disturbed. And so when I heard those words, "You are not Allah,"